All right, so a bit of an experiment here. Got Nicole, and she brought this red flowy dress, and she's got some red hair. You probably can't tell right now because everything is red, but I kind of had this idea for, when she said that she wanted to involve some motion and that she had this nice flowy dress, I decided, you know, it'd be cool to do some flash and motion shots, which I've shared on my channel before, but once I had the vision for this idea of just kind of everything flooded in red, I almost grabbed my Godox VL300 LED and put a red gel on it. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I've got an LED that can be any color I want, which also, if this doesn't work out, I can just switch it to daylight or we can work in a different way. So what we're doing here, we've got a 2-light flash setup. So we've got a 31 by 47 inch softbox right here on an AD600 Pro on the extension head. That's on our big junior stand, which has been really helpful for bigger setups like this. I've got another light right here. This is another 600 Pro with a Bowen's snoot on there. This is just acting as a hair light. That way I can separate her from all of the motion blur. This just has a Fresnel lens on it, so it's just kind of flooding the light. And if you can't tell, it's a red background behind her, or more of like a flame color. Before I share with you these shots, I do want to be clear that while some are edited, there has been nothing but global camera raw adjustments. No transforming, mixer brush, or compositing. All the blurring effects are unmodified and captured 100% in camera. If you want to see comparisons between straight out of camera and final edits, you can find a link to that in the description below. I dialed in my ambient exposure to see what the Godox SZ150R LED light would look like on its own. It was okay for it to be a touch overexposed when the subject was still, because once she was moving throughout the exposure, the intensity of light would be spread out. Next, I tested the light from each flash. I dialed in the rectangle softbox as a key light until I got this photo. Then I dialed in the rear light with the snoot to make sure I separated the subject from the background. We tried a few shots like this, but I instantly recognized that I didn't like how the LED was lighting Nicole. Because it was pointing directly at her, it was blurring her in the same position that I was trying to freeze her with flash. So I rotated the Godox SZ150R LED to point at the space between Nicole and the camera to light her while moving, but never when she was still. This improved the results quite a bit. Next, we changed the pose to more of a side profile. I changed the rectangle softbox to be overhead from the opposite side to provide downward light on her new head position. Then I changed the snoot to a 12 by 56 inch strip box. With both lights now behind her, firing from the top down, there was zero light on her body.
So as it stands right now, this is just an incredibly expensive tripod.
But, well, we're gonna change that.
To get some fill light, I turned on my R1200 Ring Flash. These are all 2-second exposures and created my favorite shots from the night. I really like how her face is slightly visible in the motion blur. It brings a human element into the blur and shows that it was authentically captured through her motion. I did try a shot where after the flash went off, I moved the camera slightly and then held it in place for the rest of the exposure. This led to me instructing Nicole to try turning her head, but keep her body in the same place after the flash goes off. It only took about 2 or 3 tries before I felt creeped out enough by the second face that I decided we should all just go home. We tried a few other combinations of poses and different light positions throughout the night, so I'll let some of the images play out from that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. And if you want to see my future videos, then make sure to subscribe and click the bell for notifications. Until next time, keep on shooting.
Okay, we're gonna play Name That Taco next time. You memorize all those?
And I'm gonna play a game called Change That Phrasing.